My sister-in-law insulted my wife, so I taught her a lesson.
You insult my wife?
I'll get ya. Throwaway because my wife and her sister have my mane. My wife, Ava, female 28, and I, male 30, just had our first set of kids. A pair of twin boys. We had met and dated through college, and after graduation got married in a simple ceremony. My wife is a nurse, and I'm an engineer. By the way, this comes from user Significant Fudge 4137, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My wife is the quiet type, especially in large social gatherings, and very petite. I think that will be important later. Honestly, I'm not much different, and that's how we hit it off, because our friend groups dragged us to a party we didn't really want to be at. That said, one-on-one with a patient, she is very, very warm and all smiles. We tried for over a year to get pregnant. Swimmers were not doing their job. So we were thrilled to become parents, and finding out it was twins was even better. My wife's sister, female 25, on the other hand, is a piece of work. She relies on guys to fund her lifestyle and jumps from guy to guy or scams them online. If I had proof of the catfishing or the scams, I would report it. She has no education past high school. She is trying to become an Instagram influencer, but only has about 100 followers. She's constantly trying to make it rich quick and still lives with their parents. No hate on this part. It's just showing how financially irresponsible she is. She buys designer everything and eats out all the time. We waited until the boys were a few weeks before we let anyone come over. My wife had to recover, and she just wanted to bond with our boys uninterrupted, and I'd do anything for her. I had to beat my mom back with a stick, not literally, but it was worth the peace. I wanted only one set of family at a time, so we didn't get overwhelmed and suggested her parents come first. Her parents brought her sister. Now, up to this point, her sister had been super interested in the pregnancy and helped throw the baby shower. She would drop off my wife snacks and things if she mentioned a craving. Overall, it seemed like a turning point for them because before the pregnancy, their relationship had been strained. Childhood competition, fighting over who dated first, etc. I went to the kitchen to make lunch while they sat and chatted. Her sister came in to help, I thought. She set up plates and things and started asking about the labor, the last couple of weeks, all that jazz. I thought she was just trying to let me vent or find more ways to be helpful, but I told her everything was going pretty smoothly. She made the comment, "Oh, that's too bad she's ruined now. I heard she got ripped from her V to her A. That won't be a pleasure to look at."
I'm sorry, what?
Sister
She just had
is
a
very
baby?
bitter sister.
You're a baby and you're going to comment on her? Why don't
Like-
you mind your business?
Yeah, it's like, oh, congratulations. It's a shame that her body is ruined forever and she's disgusting and you're married to
Oh,
her.
but your personality is going
It's
to be
like,
ruined
why
forever.
are you like this? It is true that there was some tearing, but considering her size and the size of the boys, I don't think it's too uncommon. I just looked at her and asked why she would say something so disrespectful about her sister. She told me it's just the truth and that I would realize ugly scars down there would be a total turn off. She then leaned across the table and did that thing girls do to make their front airbags look bigger by crossing her arms under them and squeezing and said, "I know you only really wanted her as a mother because of the nursing thing."
Oh, Lord. And now she's flirting with him.
Really
No, I want to be married to your sister, not you.
She's out of the house. If I'm husband, hey, you're no longer welcome here. You have to leave, actually.
Exactly.
Immediately. I'm not
say, "Excuse
entertaining
me?"
this.
Bye.
Not entertaining this for 5 seconds. It's absurd. And then she went on about how much happier I would be with someone more on my level. I told her in no uncertain terms that she wasn't anywhere near my level and she could forget ever reaching my wife's level. I told her that being a swindler and not respecting herself online and to guys didn't make her this hot and attractive thing that she thinks she is. It's actually sad to watch because everyone knows she can do so much better and would be great at whatever she puts herself to, but she chooses the disappearing acts who would pay for her photos instead. I told her my wife worked until 8 months while pregnant with twins, how she does volunteer work for the animal shelter, how she still fusses over me even though we now have the boys, and how just amazing I really think she is. I told her she could never even scratch at the level of my wife, so to take her weirdness out of my house. And I just walked her out. Thank you, OP. For God's sakes, thank you. Of so many stories we hear where they
I
don't
didn't
get
say
walked
anything.
out of the
Get
house.
Walk out.
You just
she
go,
insulted your wife. Out of there.
It's crazy you said
Bye.
that because now you're going to have to say it outside.
Yeah, say it to the wind.
I pulled the parents aside and explained what happened and then sent them the kitchen video of it because we have indoor security cameras in the common areas for security. Kitchen, facing the back door, living room. They were livid, but at me, not her. They stormed out for disrespecting their younger daughter in a way that made her cry.
Oh my God. And then I would
And-
say, okay, well, she disrespected my wife
Yeah.
and that's my priority.
And
so.
now suddenly all of the behavior makes perfect sense
Yep.
because her parents have failed her. After showing my wife, she thought I was a little harsh in shutting her down, but was so thankful I made her leave and stood up for her. My sister-in-law and her parents are demanding an apology, but I'm not going to. Am I the a-hole?
No, you're standing up for your wife.
Defending your wife.
Defending your wife.
Defending
ain't
your
a
wife.
crime.
Defending your wife. Immediately defending your wife.
Immediately.
That's what we should all do.
Defend your wife.
Defend your wife. Comment 1, I apologize that sister-in-law is a lazy, selfish, money-hungry man-eating trollop who thinks trying to seduce the husband of her sister who just gave birth. OP said yes, her propositioning OP is sick as F. I suggest making a small clip of that and sending it to the parents anytime they attempt to get an apology. Number 2, I have a cousin who's like sister-in-law. People like her are never happy and get bitter and jealous of anyone who's doing any better than they are. Even if it means that the person is simply happier with their lives than they are, it's pretty horrendous, honestly. I'd tell OP not to apologize. She deserves exactly what she's got. Honestly, I'd have nothing to do with her if I was OP or his wife. Any sister that could try it on with her sister's husband isn't worth having a relationship with. I'm confuzzled, kerfuffled, bamboozled. Your in-laws are mad at you for what? Shutting down a Hail Mary come on from their failure to launch daughter while actively cooing over their new grandson in their other daughter's, your wife's house?
It's complicated and it still makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just, you're not the a-hole. All right,
No.
we're just going to leave it at that. I did not expect this kind of response. I've tried to keep up with the comments, but I immediately started on the issues addressed by the first few comments, as well as the immediate fallout. I want to thank everyone who took the time to respond and give me great ideas for how to respond to the demands for apologies. This warmth and support made me feel like I did something right. A few things to touch on before the update. I saw a few reoccurring questions in my DMs and comments. Yes, my wife does animal shelter work. I am very allergic to cats, and she has a deep fear of dogs. I've suggested birds or rabbits, but she says there's special care for them and worries we won't do it well. I did not mean to slut shame my sister-in-law, but I guess that's how it came across. I just thought it was laughable that she wanted to try anything with me, of all people, when I know the games she plays with guys. She'll scam older men out of gift cards online and string them along with pictures so they keep giving her money. She never meets up with them, despite all the promises to do so. I work from home and make a very decent living. That said, because of my wife's direction, we have bought a house, put money into savings, and paid off almost all of our student loans. I think sister-in-law wants what we have. Small weekend getaways, a basement gym, and a small flower garden in the front. We aren't living it up, but it's better than her bedroom at her parents'. My wife doesn't usually creep on my Reddit, but she listens to the Am I the A-hole subreddit from this one guy, so my friend suggested here. I doubt she knows this spot. Keeping the family away for a couple weeks was not a power trip. They all met them at the hospital. She wanted time to recover and spend time with the babies without having to play host, keep the house clean with extra people, and neglect her own needs. They are also her first kids, so this has been a lot for her. If you think wanting space to heal and bond is a power trip, you need some reflection. Is your family so toxic that they wouldn't let you rest after something as huge as childbirth? I think my wife has a great shiny spine. Tends to bite, not literally. She has been having a lot of emotional issues since the birth, so I think she was numb to what happened. It might be shock, but I did find her crying about it that night, and here comes the update.
Ooh-wee.
After they left, I took a couple of hours before posting because I felt I made my wife upset, and I hate doing that. Apparently, in that time, my wife and I were blocked from my sister-in-law's social media, and I was blocked by her parents. By the time I posted, I missed like 40-some calls and messages. I assumed it was her parents still bugging about the apology or her texting to call me names. I went downstairs to find my wife in tears because someone had the gall to be screaming down the phone at her. It was her uncle. I took the phone, shouted him down until he explained what he heard. Apparently, sister-in-law immediately went around claiming I was a disgusting pig who touched her inappropriately and said all the terrible things she had said to me. The uncle was pissed at my wife for defending me. I cut the call and sent the video. I tried to check her accounts and found I was blocked. My wife tried and found she was blocked. I checked my phone and all the ignored noise was various family members on her side. I didn't bother calling them. I just sent the video to each and every one of them, then posted it to all of my accounts and tagged her and her parents. I used my wife's phone to post it to her parents' account with her permission. I sat down with my wife to ask what she wanted to do, but she just started crying. Eventually, she said she hated them and started to cry even more. Clearly, she wasn't in a good headspace to make decisions that affected anything long term, so I suggested we just go no contact temporarily and after some time discuss if we make it permanent or not, and she agreed. I suggested therapy, thank you everyone, because I would not have thought about this myself. She was hesitant, but after a bit of pushing, she agreed. I didn't bully her about it, I just pointed out this was all terrible, and that she went through so much, and that while I can listen and snuggle her, I'm not unbiased, and I don't have all the tools a therapist would. She doesn't seem depressed, but all the crying is getting to me. I hate seeing her like this. I asked that we change the locks and add a few more cameras outside, and she agreed. I asked if she wanted me to tell my parents they can't have a key or need to wait a few more days to visit, but she said they can come and have a key. My mom and wife don't always see eye to eye, but tend to team up against me. The noise died down by dinner time, but there were almost no apologies. A few cousins apologized to my wife and her aunt. I told our friends what happened, and they brought over my wife's favorite dinner and my favorite snacks. Her BFF stayed the night. My one friend suggested getting a lawyer involved for the attempt at slander. He knows a guy, and I now have a meeting with him. I didn't tell my wife. I just want to see what the options are. She needs some rest before we really do anything. My parents are now over, and I slipped away for the update. My mother offered to stay for a few days to cook and clean, and I think my wife might accept it. She showed us how to swaddle the boys and gave us all these warnings against juice in bottles at bedtime when they were older because it could rot their teeth. It started a whole conversation about no cereal in milk bottles because of choking hazards and other things. I think the baby talk has taken her mind off things. Her BFF has been playing a weird mix of guard dog and mama bear to my wife, and I'm glad she has the support. The BFF checks and screens the calls or messages before letting my wife see anything, and if it's terrible, she has permission to send the video, and this is all at my wife's request. She doesn't want to face hate from her family right now. I managed to get screenshots of the post from friends. I had these same friends creep their profiles this morning, and the posts have been removed. Apparently, it turned into a bloodbath in the comments, going from support to outrage at being lied to. We got a few more apologies, and these sounded sincere, and they admitted they were too ashamed to talk to us yesterday after the video was sent. But by the way, I will never be ashamed of you listening to full episodes with stories like this on iHeartRadio and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you get podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime, and there you can listen to all of the stories, all of the time. There's a little bit more story here.
I mean, I think OP handled it really well. I think that he protected his wife. I think that who cares if the rest of the family is like, well, you were mean to her. Like,
it's like, dude, she literally, there's footage. I have footage of this woman trying to home wreck us very unsuccessfully and disparaging my wife, your daughter. I've still banned the rest of her family from visiting until further notice. It is info diet time for them as well, until we know who won't feed pictures or info to those 3 horrible people. My wife blocked her sister this morning from her phone, but I'm leaving them unblocked. So if they try anything, I have proof. And I think that's it. It's unpleasant. I knew they favored sister-in-law, but didn't realize that it was this much. I'm going to help my wife find a therapist in the next few days. Any questions, I will try to answer. And that is the end